Mcfarland Show with Darren Mcfarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the Mcfarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Tuesday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the Mcfarland Show here on Nashville Sports Radio. Darren Mcfarland, Justin McFarland here, Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio for the next 2 hours. By the way, you can watch the show Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Justin, how we doing?
We're doing okay, man. It's been a interesting and busy day out there with several news items happening, but otherwise, just a nice sunny day out there. Have you seen the smoke, Darren, in the air?
Have I seen the smoke?
Yeah, there's a light layer of smoke for for those of you who may not know. It comes from the Canadian wildfires that have been blowing.
I thought this was a joke. You were setting me up for a punchline.
It is not a joke. It is a real thing. We had some haze early this morning from the Canadian wildfires that have been burning. It's hit some of the Midwestern cities rather hard, but it's even lingered all the way down here where we had some people thought it was fog, but some light haze this morning because of the Canadian wildfires. So
I was unaware of that.
If you smell the Canadian bacon in the air, that's what it is.
Well, that would be great.
But I haven't quite sensed that
Canadian bacon on a pizza, fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't caught that whiff in the air. I think you may have to go a little further north to catch that. But just heads
awesome.
up. Just heads up.
Okay. No, I didn't. I've been out. I didn't see it.
Didn't see it?
No.
Didn't occur to you?
Are a lot of people saying yes, they can see it?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of comments, and we saw it on our cameras for sure. We thought it was fog, but it's in the upper atmosphere. We have the cameras on top of the skyscrapers. You can see it a little bit there. But when the sun was first coming up, you can definitely see it out there. But just those of you who are wondering, if you see a little haze in the air, your eyes do not deceive. It's not a thunderstorm. It's wildfire from Canada.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk to Steve James coming up in about 10 minutes. There is a documentary coming out about Bill Walton.
Yeah.
Which will be cool.
Absolutely. Bill Walton, one of the most, shall we call him colorful?
That's a good word.
One of the most colorful people in all the sports, not just basketball, in any sport. Bill Walton is a character. So I'm sure he has a very interesting life and career, and we know what he did as a player and the different phases he went through as a player, from the Portland Trailblazers to the Celtics. And for some of the younger people who are listening, you may go, Portland Trailblazers? What are you talking about? Bill Walton played for the Celtics. Yes, he did, but he was also a championship player for the Portland Trailblazers. So I bet there's a lot to get into with Bill Walton for sure.
Are you familiar with the movie Hoop Dreams?
I am familiar with the movie Hoop Dreams. I haven't seen it in a few decades.
It's been a while for me too.
But I am familiar with the movie.
He created that movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That had to be a labor of love for sure, because Hoop Dreams followed a couple of young men, I believe, for several years of their journey from high school to try to get to the NBA. So that was a massive undertaking, I'm sure. So very cool.
ESPN Films has teamed up with Steve James, and they've got a 4-part film that tells the story of Bill Walton.
Okay.
So we'll get him to get all the details coming up here very, very soon. The regionals are done. They're wrapped up. By the way, there's big news in the golf world. We'll get to that in a little bit later. PGA, Live, all that. A little bit of a surprise, I think, for everybody.
It is.
I don't think anybody really saw that coming. But nonetheless, everything is wrapped up. Everything is in the books. So down to 16 teams, and then they're going to whittle it down to 8 for Omaha. So
any surprises? Any, I didn't see them coming. I mean, I know we talked about Indiana State yesterday, the Sycamores, and their possible run. But is there a Cinderella in this group?
By the way, Indiana State and TCU.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a travesty that both of them have to play each other because they both played really well in the regionals. I mean, TCU is just a juggernaut right now. Their offense, they are scoring at will. They went into Fayetteville and hung 32 on Arkansas.
Man.
In 2 games.
Man.
32 in Fayetteville.
They're seeing the ball well at that point.
They put 12 on them yesterday, and they put 20 on them on Saturday.
These tournaments are all about getting hot. But the problem is when you run hot like that, you can almost feel the drought coming. When you score 12 and 14, then
Clemson.
Here comes 2.
Clemson had won 17 in a row.
Yeah.
Didn't win a game. Well, they won 1.
Yeah.
Beat Lipscomb in their region. Done. Yeah. TCU played 3 games in that Fayetteville regional and scored 44 runs.
Jeez.
In 3 games.
Jeez. It's a lot of...
Not bad.
It's a lot of ping. A lot of ping.
That is a lot of ping. So you've got Indiana State versus TCU, Oral Roberts versus Oregon, Virginia and Duke. Then, of course, they did this to the SEC twice. You've got Florida and South Carolina. So they've got them pinned up against each other. So good news, you're going to get an SEC representative in that particular pod. The bad news is, also one's getting eliminated.
Yeah, somebody's going to Omaha there and somebody's going home.
Right. Wake Forest and Alabama. That's an interesting matchup. Texas and Stanford. Stanford beating Texas A&M last night. LSU and Kentucky, same deal, right? Mm-hmm. Good news, bad news. One of them's moving on to Omaha for sure. So the SEC's guaranteed 2 teams for sure. And then one of them is going home. And then, of course, you've got Tennessee and Southern Miss. We talked about this a lot yesterday. Southern Miss, by the way, beat Penn yesterday. Knew that Tennessee had a real shot, probably would host against Penn.
Yeah.
Probably weren't going to host against Southern Miss, and that's exactly how it played out.
Huh.
It's going to be down in Hattiesburg.
Okay.
So Southern Miss hosting Tennessee, and I think that's going to be a really interesting super regional.
It certainly could be. The crowd is going to be fired up for as well. But the Vol fans will travel. They'll come on down there.
They'll be down there.
Down there to
they were in
Hattiesburg.
Clemson. They'll be in Hattiesburg.
They'll go to Hattiesburg. Watch out, Tunica. Heads up, Tunica.
I don't know how far is Tunica from Hattiesburg.
It's not that far, but I'm just saying that they'll be in the area. It's on its way. I'm not sure it's on its way. It's there. It's in the area.
I remember the one time that I drove to New Orleans. All the other times I've flown.
Okay.
The one time I drove, I remember passing Hattiesburg on the way to New Orleans.
Yes. Yes, you drive right through it. Yeah,
you
the
go
interstate.
right through it. Yeah.
Yeah, you drive right through it there. And so Tunica is as I'm trying to
got to be a couple hours?
It can't be that far to get to Tunica there. So I'm just saying, if you see some orange there in the casino, just give a wave. Actually, it's way out there. Okay, my bad. Never mind. It's 4 hours away.
Okay, I didn't think they were close.
I thought they were closer than that
because I associate Hattiesburg with New Orleans. If I were thinking of Tunica, I'm associating that with more right there, Tennessee side of things,
Yeah.
So
towards the Memphis area there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Memphis.
south of Memphis. Okay. My bad.
So
I'm a little rusty on my Mississippi geography.
I mean, you could, but that's kind of a hole.
It is a hole. I can see it here.
It's kind of a hole. So, like I said, we'll get into the LIV and the PGA announcement. Man, it's pretty interesting. An ongoing feud for a couple of years. Looks like they've come together.
Yeah, feud is over.
It is over.
Litigation dropped.
We'll come back. We'll talk with Steve James. We'll tell you what he's got up his sleeve in regards to Bill Walton, and we will do that next here on the Mcfarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Nashville, start your engines. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is coming to the streets of downtown Nashville. Experience 3 days of racing, music, family fun zone, food trucks, and more. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is August 4th through August 6th. From stadium super trucks flying through the air to open wheel IndyCar racing that turns right. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix has something for every race fan. There's music all day, every day. And don't miss the Friday and Saturday night concert under the stars. And they have rides for the kids provided by Wesley Mortgage. The streets of Music City come alive August 4th through August 6th. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Grab your tickets before they're gone and log on to MusicCityGP.com. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. It's more than a race. It's a festival.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Golfers, swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1968. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at EdwinWattsGolfShops.com.
Jim Rome is here weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
Give the show a couple of weeks. You're not going to like it. Nobody likes this show the first time they heard it. My wife hated the show. I married her. Give it 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks you can honestly say to me, you know what? I listened to every day for 2 weeks, and the truth is, I hate you more now than I did the first day. Then I'm going to be man enough to say to you, you know what? You probably aren't that smart.
Jim Rome, 11 to 2 on Nashville's original sports radio, WNSR.
Oh!
Over 50 years of Nashville sports coverage. The Mcfarland Show. Wow, you guys are old.
Rolling along on this Tuesday afternoon. Darren Mcfarland, Justin Mcfarland. Strike and Spare Family Fun Center. We'll talk to JT Thomas, Nashville Super Speedway. Their big race is going to happen here in a couple of weeks. And the Cup race will be under the lights at the Nashville Super Speedway. A little different. So we'll do that in a little bit. Right now we talk to Steve James. We're going to tell you what he's got up his sleeve. Pretty cool documentary, I guess, that's coming around.
Mm-hmm.
4 parts chronicling Bill Walton. I mean, this is a sports talk show, and if you haven't seen Bill Walton or you don't know who Bill Walton is, you must have just stumbled upon this show and you're
get
like,
educated.
What are you guys doing again? What are you guys
Educate
talking
yourself.
about?
Educate yourself.
Steve, how we doing?
Steve?
Steve James on the line with us. Steve, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Gotcha. Can you hear us?
Yes. Sorry, I'm saying it's going well.
I didn't know.
I guess it wasn't.
Well, I was going to say, were we having a Bill Walton moment? What's going on here?
It's that Canadian smoke up there in Chicago. Be careful, Steve.
No, if it was a Bill Walton moment, you wouldn't have even been able to introduce me. I would have just started talking.
So how did this all, let's just start with the obvious. How did all this come about?
Approached me a couple of years ago, closer to 3 years ago, and said that, they were in talks with Bill about possibly doing a film focused around the Portland Trailblazers and him. And he was interested, and they wondered if I was interested. And I said, heck yeah. And I followed Bill's career since UCLA days because I'm an old guy. And but then I read his book, Back from the Dead, his memoir, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to do it. And so I went out to San Diego for a weekend and hung out with Bill and two of his best friends who were there to vet me, along with his wife and Bill. And I guess I passed the test, so here we are.
Yeah, here you are. In that setting, like Steve, we have guests on the show that we love, and over the years we love having on, but we know they talk, right? And so some guests, it's just easier than others. You just wind them up and let them go, and others you have to draw things or pull things out of them. I don't suspect that's the case with Bill Walton. When you sit down, do you just let the cameras roll? Like, how does that work with Bill?
Because you're right. Bill is never at a loss for words. But this was different. This wasn't just letting him, roll along in that kind of classic stream of consciousness way that he can go, and that can be quite entertaining. I mean, you will see plenty of Bill rolling along in the docuseries, but we really organized a whole series of interviews with him centered around certain parts of his life, because I really wanted him to be able to focus and think deeply about each of those phases of his life. And I think that bore real fruit, as you'll see in the series, because I hope you'll see a side of Bill. You'll see the side that you're familiar with and that you find quite entertaining, without question. I'm hoping you see a side of him that maybe is not so familiar to the public.
Bill Walton's been around for a long time, Steve. Did you learn a lot during all of this? I mean, were there times when you caught yourself going, I had no idea?
I mean, I had no idea. I knew Bill had an injury-marred career. I had no idea just how devastating those injuries had been all those years. Because, when he was going through a lot of that, particularly in his early years, there was a lot of skepticism on the part of the media and fans in Portland especially about, like, well, is this guy faking it? Is he really hurt? Are these phantom injuries? And there's no question when you dig into Bill's story and you see that the man had 34 surgeries, many of them in the service of trying to stay on the court, that, there was no faking going on here. He just did not have feet that were made for his frame and for basketball. And so that was a revelation, even though I knew that he'd suffered a lot of injuries. Another small revelation was seeing him in high school, seeing footage of him in high school playing and seeing that signature rebounding and outlet passing that Bill became famous for, even as a high school player. No one taught him that. He just did it. And he was also he had defensive prowess starting in high school. He played the same kind of game that he would play at UCLA and in the pros at the high school level, which was team-oriented, trying to get the ball to the right teammate, passing, rebounding. He was not a guy that wanted to run up big numbers, scoring numbers.
Justin and I were talking about this during the break, and I would be curious on if you thought about this too as the filmmaker, and you said you wanted to take him down different paths. I've been, very fortunate to be and lucky to do this for a long time, 25 plus years, and I've been able to interview a lot of really, really famous people, and it's a sports talk show, but I've also been lucky to interview a lot of comedians over the years, and most of the time in person, in studio. And while it's fun and while you get excited, it's also nerve-wracking, right? Because you're just not sure how it's going to go, because comedians can take it all kinds of places.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, a lot of times, you're worried if you can set them up and take them down that path. Did you kind of have the same thoughts about Bill Walton and doing this?
The challenge for me with Bill was twofold. One was try and get past the public persona some, to get beneath that, because he has a well-rehearsed public persona. I mean, it's not rehearsed in the sense that he definitely speaks off the cuff, but he has a kind of way in which he is in the public, which is familiar to us by now if you've been following him. And it was really important that we get past that if we're going to do a genuine, in-depth look at his life. And so that was one level of challenge. The other level, which you'll see in the docuseries when you watch it, is, there are a number of times where I leave in there where I'm asking him a question and he pushes back on me or questions me. Usually documentary filmmakers don't put their own questions in, but I found it to be revealing and revealing of him. And it also gets a little bit at the relationship, the sparring that kind of went on between us from time to time. I'll give you an example. At one point I say to him, he's talking about that great Portland team after they swept the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals on their way to the championship. And he's talking about every guy on the team and why they won was because of them. And I say, and Bill Walton. And he goes, I was just on the team. And I'm like, why do you deflect? Why do you constantly deflect your contributions? And he was like, because I'm a team guy. And so then I quoted him his statistics in the LA series against Kareem in his prime. He averaged 27 points and 20 rebounds a game, something like 5 block shots. And he just yawned through the whole thing. It was a theatrical yawn. It was a theatrical yawn, but he was yawning through the whole thing, just saying, this is all boring, I don't care about this. So, there's some of that with him, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the sparring. I think he did too. There were times he got a little testy with me, but I think overall we evolved into a real relationship during the course of making the film.
Steve, I've got two questions for you. One about Bill Walton and the other one about Hoop Dreams. And let me get to Bill Walton here. For the last 17 years of my life, I've been a television journalist and done numerous stories about all kinds of things. The opportunity to talk to somebody about somebody like Bill Walton about his entire career is a daunting task, because Bill Walton has had so many different faces to the public. So I'm just going over a few. There's Bill Walton at UCLA. There's Bill Walton at the Portland Trail Blazers as a dominant all-star. Then there's Bill Walton, the veteran off the bench with the Boston Celtics. Then there's Bill Walton, the broadcaster. How in the world do you get yourself focused and get him focused on one particular thing to chop this up into a way that makes sense?
Hope we succeeded. You'll be the judge of that, but I think that's how you end up with a 4-part miniseries, because there are so many aspects. You didn't even mention the Clipper years, which
I didn't.
Really
no.
and that may have been on purpose, but and the Grateful Dead. I mean, he's been to over 1,000 Grateful Dead concerts. I kid him that he's been to more Grateful Dead concerts than Jerry Garcia, and then he goes, "Oh no, that's not true," So, but I think one of the keys to doing that, and again, you'll be the judge of whether we succeed or not, was I let him know, like when I was coming to town, and I went frequently. I said, "Okay, on this trip, I want to talk about your high school years, or on this trip, I want to talk about the Clipper years, or this trip, we're going to really dig into the Boston Celtics. On this trip, we're going to really dig into all the injuries you've had throughout your entire career." That interview alone was almost 3 hours long because there were so many injuries. And so I think by dividing it up, it helped him too. It helped me, that's for sure. But it helped him to know that he didn't have to perform so much as just kind of revisit this part of his life and talk about it. And it allowed us the time to try to dig in on each of those topics instead of just hit them, and move on.
I can't let you go without asking about Hoop Dreams a little bit, which of course is the other work, and you've done a lot of work, but the other work that you're known for. And I've never had a chance to say this to anyone associated with that piece of work, but I want to say thank you and let you in on a little piece of insight that you may or may not know. But when I was a kid, a lot of people wanted to be basketball players. Well, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to play in the NBA. I want to play in the NBA. We had a teacher that forced everybody who wanted to be in the NBA to watch Hoop Dreams. You sat down, you watched Hoop Dreams, and then they asked you at the end of Hoop Dreams, do you still want to go to the NBA? And a lot of kids, after watching that, had a bit of a mind change about, because I don't think anybody really wrapped their brain about how hard it is to get to the NBA. And so just from me as a consumer when I was, much younger to somebody associated with that film, I just want to thank you for showing the grind it takes, because you made it real to so many kids who, still wanted to do it, but didn't understand how deep it was.
Really nice to hear. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I've been amazed at what staying power the film has had, particularly among young people and young ballers. I meet people over the years from time to time that are, young and played ball or pursued the game at different levels. Some made it to college, some didn't. I know that there's some guys in the pros that the film has meant a lot to. But, it's always nice to know that the film still speaks to people in the way that it does, because I do think Arthur and William are inspirational young men. They wanted it, and they gave it their all, and it didn't work out for them, but they're good guys, and they come from good families, and they, and what they took away from the game wasn't making it to the NBA, but they took a lot of other things away that has served them well in their lives.
Yeah, what you showed is how good they were, and it made everybody think, well, I'm not as good as these guys, and these guys aren't going to make it? What are you talking about? It just made everybody think, and and the teacher's whole objective there was to let everybody know, if you think you're good, you may want to reconsider your future career plans. And listen, we were middle school, junior high school kids, 7th to 8th graders, but they made us sit down and watch that, and that has always stuck with me. And I, as soon as I found out we had a chance to talk to you, I wanted to share that with you.
So the first 2 episodes of this 30 for 30 are a week from today. Is that right? So it'll be 7 o'clock Central?
Tonight.
Oh, it's tonight.
The first 2.
Oh, okay.
Tonight.
The first 2, then the final 2 will be a week from tonight? Is that right?
8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central.
7 Central.
Okay.
Okay, well.
6, Mountain, 5 Pacific.
We're big fans of the 30 for 30, so looking forward to it. Steve, really appreciate you joining us. Thanks for doing this, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, sir.
Really great to talk to you guys. Take care.
All right, that is Steve James. He is a part of this, of course, ESPN Films. First 2 episodes airing tonight on Bill Walton.
Interesting. Should be fascinating, and you really don't need to talk to anybody else. It can just be Bill. I don't know what he's going to do to chop it up, but, you could just have Bill speak for himself for the 4 parts. So we'll see.
7 o'clock tonight, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if it's on ESPN or probably ESPN2 would be my guess.
ESPN2 and on demand and the Plus, and you'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, you'll find it. Believe me. And they run them back a lot, so you'll have plenty of chances to see it for sure, especially this time of year. All right, we'll ride open the rest of the hour. If you would like to jump in and talk with us, 615-844-5600. That's our phone line and our text line. More of the Mcfarland Show next.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? The parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited-time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
5-state forecast. Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today we'll have sunshine and it'll be hazy, the high temperature 90. Haze and areas of smoke tonight, the low 62. Patchy smoke Wednesday, could be an afternoon thunderstorm as well, high 88. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
1-1 pitch. There's a deep drive to left center field. This thing is clear for takeoff. Back-to-back home runs, Ozuna and Riley.
Catch the 2023 Atlanta Braves right here on Music City's home for Braves baseball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The Mcfarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Thank you, Big Boy Sky. Rolling along on this Tuesday. Darren and Justin here with you. Special thanks to Steve James, filmmaker. The ESPN 30 for 30 tonight on Bill Walton begins at 7 o'clock our time. That'll be part one tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN. I looked it up, pulled up one of our televisions, went to the program guide. It's on ESPN.
Voila.
Now, there's no NBA Finals tonight. There's no Stanley Cup Final tonight. There's no college baseball. And I don't believe there's even college softball, World Series softball, I don't think.
They're moving on too. So,
because they're down to the finals.
Yeah,
it's down
traveled
to Florida State and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
By the way, Oklahoma there's going to be a 30 for 30, I think, on this Oklahoma softball team.
It's pretty dominant.
Like, this is going to be a three-peat.
Yeah.
And they lost 4 years ago, so it's 4 times in the 4 straight years in the national championship game.
Yeah.
And they've won, 51 games in a row, 52 games in a row?
It's a machine at this point.
Yeah, it really
it's a machine.
Is. 615-844-5600 is our number. Let's go to Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys. Glad to kick this evening off with you. Darren, I guess, that's the Bill Walton stuff's going to go head-to-head with, I think they're going to do a Frisbee National Championship throw along with the Cornhole Championships which is up against the pickleball.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't leave out the Johnsonville Cornhole Tournament.
Listen, man, that gets intense, Tony. That gets intense, man. They get into that. I've seen some of that, man.
They got the pickleball championship now.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dan, I'm not mistaken. Aren't you a Kentucky fan?
Yep.
You might get to see the Big Blue in their first ever World Series when you go there next week.
You think they're going to beat LSU?
Hey, at this stage, you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
And we've talked about it, and here's the thing about LSU. Y'all know this. They only got one real good pitcher. You get that second and third day, their pitching gets sporadic and questionable. So you never can tell what's going to happen at this juncture. So what a great thing for Darren Mcfarland to be going to Omaha for the first time with Kentucky there with you. That'd be pretty wild. That would be. Last night, guys, on Justin, on your counter part station, Channel 5.
Yes.
Lehman aired a segment that no one else has aired, and it showed Corbs at the post game.
Yes, sir.
Sunday night.
Yes, sir.
And he showed a lot of vinegar in his, in his urine, and he still has a lot of fire under it. And he showed, I think, my personal opinion, a combination of disgust of what transpired over the weekend, and frustration, but I think he also showed a lot of fire that Tim Corbin's not done. And now I do think Tim Corbin and Vanderbilt, somewhere along the way, Darren and Justin, they're going to have to grip and grasp this portal situation. And I don't know if it's when you get 13 and 15 schools when Texas and Oklahoma come in, and they're all going to the portal and loading up, and you're trying to bring in freshmen and build them up the old traditional way, I think it's going to they've got to find a balance in there, and I think that's where they might be at the crossroads, at the crosshairs, and I just hope that they can, Vanderbilt can still be Vanderbilt, but at the same time maybe move in the new direction and the new way of recruiting. What's y'all's take on that?
Well, I don't know. I know that's not traditionally the way but that is life in collegiate athletics today. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, that's the portal is used just as much as recruiting, if not more.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean,
absolutely.
That's what it's turned into.
I think people are going to want to play for Tim Corbin. I don't think it's going to be a talent issue at all, Tony. I really don't. I mean, I don't think this year's team lacked talent. I'm not sure if that's the issue. I mean, did they click when they needed to? No, it didn't. But was there lack of talent on this baseball team? That's not the way I saw it. This team could put up runs in bunches. The pitching was solid enough. I mean, was it as dominant as it has been in years past? No. But then again, the people who were here in years past, they went on to be high-ranking Major League Baseball. That's a little uncommon, right?
Yeah, and they had some pitching injuries, which didn't help them. By
the
way,
pitching injuries didn't help. It's not a talent issue, though.
Who was one of their best players this year? R.J. Schreck. Well, how did he get to Vanderbilt? How did he get to Vanderbilt?
Through the portal.
Yeah.
Through the portal.
Okay.
And I'm not saying nothing about the talent. I mean, hell, we're Vanderbilt. We got some of the best talent across the country. But I think the way the world is revolving, I think we might have to start going to that recruiting tool because years past, Corbin would always have to recruit twice. He'd have to recruit him to get to Vanderbilt. Then he'd have to recruit him against being drafted and going to the MLB. So he had to recruit twice. Now you're having to do that, plus recruit against the portal, And guys, here's something that we know's going on: the poaching. Darren, you know poaching goes on everywhere. You know it's happening, and I just pray that we've got to address that somehow or another. You know, instead of the player just saying, you know what, I'm not a good fit here, I'm getting in the portal. Instead of a coach coming and poaching, saying, hey, we're going to have an opening next year at shortstop. Why don't y'all kind of come on? Think about coming to us. Get in the portal, and then we'll talk. You know, I'm really opposed to that. But I just want to get y'all's take on that. And just, I've done a lot of thinking about it, hearing a lot of people talk about it here in the last week or so. But I'll leave you on this. That deal with Bill Walton, this segment, y'all know that's going to be spicy, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going to watch.
He's never been one to hold back.
No.
No, not at all.
No, I'll watch tonight.
Not at all.
That's true. Hey, guys, I'm going to leave you alone. Great show. That was good stuff while ago.
Thank you,
y'all
Tony.
Have a good day, people.
Appreciate it. You
Thank
too.
you, Tony.
In fact, I'll be in Nolensville tonight around 7:30.
There you go.
Yep. 615-844-5600. I will watch tonight. I'm interested in that. This is a good time of year to be throwing out a lot of 30 for 30s. This is because this is when you're looking for stuff to watch.
Yeah.
When it comes to sports.
That's what this time of year is all about. It really is.
Let's go to Bill in Hendersonville. Bill, what's up?
Hi, fellas. Good afternoon.
Hey, Bill.
Justin.
Yes, sir.
I realize it's a lot later in the day, but I'd like to dovetail into something that you reported on this morning in the 8 o'clock segment of your news program.
That was a long time ago for me, Bill. You got to remind me. I'm sorry.
Okay. You were reporting about how many deaths by drowning
yes, sir.
we've had on area lakes.
TWRA. Yes, sir.
Yes, we've had, what was it, a dozen total?
Yes, a dozen this year.
Alone
5 at Percy Priest.
A dozen this year and 5 on Percy Priest.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you like it is. The easiest way for that not to happen is wear your blasted life jacket. If you don't have one, find one. And make absolutely sure that if you have any children in that boat, that they are wearing a life jacket. Now, they're going to, if you'll pardon me, bitch and moan about it, but that's okay. It's for their safety and yours as well. Because, fellas, a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 now, I had to make the toughest phone call of my life when my fishing partner fell out of the boat. He was not wearing a life jacket, and he drowned. And I had to be on a small beach on Percy Priest, close to Bear Island, and make a phone call to his wife, who is now a widow. And all you folks out there who have friends, family, neighbors, grandchildren that go out on our aerial waters, please, please wear a life jacket. Don't do any, the last things you want to hear somebody say are, here, hold my beer, and hey, y'all watch this.
Yeah.
Because y'all don't want to be in that position. And watch whoever it is go in the water without a life jacket or do something, yes, stupid. I work for a store, a large outfitter stock store over at Opry Mills, and we sell life jackets. We also sell floating seat cushions. They now make life jackets that literally, if you fall in the water, they will automatically inflate. They also have a cord on them that you can pull it if you are at yourself enough to do so. And the other thing that I'm sure mixed in with all those is alcohol, whether it was beer or the hard stuff.
Yes, sir. They've got new laws in the books now, Bill, about that. They've equated BUI now with DUI starting July the 1st.
Fantastic. That's good to know because I had to run out of our. I was on break and got to see about part of that report and had to go down. I didn't hear that part of it, but that's fantastic. But having had experience with that mess, I'm just telling y'all from my point and my perspective, wear a life jacket, separate your fun from the alcohol, and y'all don't want to make that phone call I made.
Yes, sir, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. That's all you have to do.
It's a real thing. It's been happening way too often, which is why we decided to draw some attention to it earlier this morning. I mean, we're barely into June, and we've already lost 12 lives.
Yeah,
and, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
So
because the boating hasn't even really ramped up yet.
And, I don't want to get too deep, but I will say, as long as we're here in this vein, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency says the people in the boats without a motor, the paddle type of boats, whether it's a canoe or, whatever it is, a kayak, they're the ones that tend to be at most risk. People there are not wearing.
Well, it's easy to flip over.
It's easy to flip over. It's easy to rock them.
Yep.
And then you got nowhere to go after that. And so that's where they've seen a lot of problems. And so they're asking people, especially, first of all, if you're in any of them, but especially if you're operating one of those, don't take it for granted. Wear that life jacket. Even if you're a strong swimmer, even if you've been doing this for years, it doesn't take much.
Yeah. Yep. Good message. Bill, thanks for the phone call. We'll step away for the final time this first hour, come back and wrap up this hour, and we'll do that next.
Here at Lowe's, start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $16. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find. I like this flavored gin, but want something new? You'll love this one. Wow! Oh, you're good. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/ Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Sports fans, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights at 6 and hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby and Darren Mcfarland.
Hey, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights from 6 until 7 o'clock as we highlight high-level trainers, coaches, and players in and around Middle Tennessee. Give us a call at 615-844-5600. We live video stream all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby.
And hear me, Darren Mcfarland, live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Titans back out on the practice field, OTAs.
Yes, sir.
Not voluntary this time.
Mm-hmm.
A little mandatory action.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to know, would the mayor of Murfreesboro be in attendance?
Well,
Kevin Byard was there, present, and accounted for.
What?
He was.
You mean he's not holding out?
No.
No?
No.
You mean he's not?
He's not been traded.
He's not been traded.
Nope.
And his feelings aren't all hurt and, but, okay.
Nope.
So you mean all that was for nothing?
Well, I didn't say not for nothing. And by the way, there could still be, hurt feelings.
It could be.
Could be.
It could be.
But did you have any doubts he was going to be there?
No.
I didn't either.
No. Listen, any fears I had about Kevin Byard showing up today or not were put to bed to me with Coach Vrabel's comments.
We ain't worried about it.
That's it. When he said he wasn't worried about it, and I mean he said it with such relaxed tone. There is nothing I was worried about as far as Kevin Byard not showing up. He said when's the last time you talked to Kevin Byard? Sunday at the golf course. Like, you're good. Like, and even Vrabel himself says, I haven't shown up for some of these, of course, later in his career. I was never in fear that Kevin Byard wasn't going to show up. What would be the point of him not showing up? He's already been paid. This is not a contract holdout situation. Mm-mm. So him not showing up would do what?
Nothing. Unless he was really, really ticked and really wanted to stir it up. We knew that wasn't going to happen. Come on, man.
It's him doing that?
Look, he's already said his piece. He's made his statement.
Yep.
Okay? He made his statement.
He did.
He didn't show up to voluntary stuff.
Yeah. That's his statement.
That's his statement.
Yeah.
And it's called voluntary.
Yeah. And by the way, he's been present and accounted for the previous 7 years that he's been on the team.
Again, and he's made his statement. That was his statement. And now it's business as usual.
Him holding out was just never.
No.
He's already, there's no contract negotiation for what? He's already getting paid.
It cracked me up. The amount of people that were wondering.
I don't understand.
If Kevin Byard would be there. I'm not sure he's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there. What?
Are those the same people that thought, Ryan Tannehill was getting traded to the Jets?
Derrick Henry.
Waiting on that still. Waiting on that trade to go through.
Jeffrey Simmons not re-signed.
Conversations are ongoing.
By the way, congratulations. Tierra Tart got rewarded yesterday.
Yeah.
1 year deal.
Yeah.
What, 4.3?
I thought it was 4.5. Is it 4.3? Okay.
What's a couple $100,000 amongst friends? You know?
Whatever it is. Yeah. Good for him. Good for Tierra Tart. And he's in a really interesting spot because he's one of those guys where he's not necessarily a young player, but you're going to make him prove it another year before you give him a long term. By the time you want to give him a long term, now he feels long in the tooth. It's tough no man's land there.
The reality, Justin, is that really should be their strength of this roster. It really should be. If everybody's healthy. Well, the defense up front.
The
up front. That should be their strength.
Front seven for them, yeah.
Yeah, their front seven should be their strength. I mean, Harold Landry wasn't there today, but if you have a healthy Harold Landry back, a Jeffrey Simmons who's been paid, and still wants to show that he was worth that contract. Danico Autry has turned out to be quite a find.
Yes, he is.
I think Arden Key is going to fit in really nicely on that front. You've got a Tierra Tart.
Yeah.
It should be their strength.
It should
be. It should be the strength of this roster.
Yeah. And some hungry guys, some veteran
when
guys.
Healthy.
Yeah.
If available and healthy, it should be the strength.
Yeah. With Kevin Byard, Christian Fulton, and, McCreary and the other guys getting another year. They brought in the free agent from Tampa. It should be fairly solid, so much so that they didn't spend any draft capital on that side of the ball.
No.
None. Not a single pick. Not even a 7th rounder.
Well,
they
did. They re-signed Big Jeff. So that was a big chunk of money.
Well, when I say draft capital, I mean draft picks is what I mean.
Oh, draft picks.
They
Yes,
didn't
I'm sorry.
draft
Yes,
anyone.
you're right.
They didn't draft anyone.
No, they did not.
To that side of the ball, which I think speaks volumes to what they think about that.
Harold Landry was not there today. Caleb Farley was not there today.
Boy.
Dylan Radins was not there today.
Were they excused?
I don't know.
Okay. Elijah
Elijah Molden was not there today. Christian Fulton was not there today.
Okay. These sound more like that, and for those of you who don't know, most of the time when these guys don't show up, the coaches and staff are in contact and they know full well why they are not there. 9 times out of 10. Occasionally, you will get somebody who just doesn't show up, no call, no show. That does happen occasionally, but 9 times out of 10, there's been some communication and the coaches are fully aware about why these guys aren't there.
Just some of those names, you just kind of cringe, right? When it's like, oh, boy, really? Because it just feels like, man, is it ever going to change? Is it ever going to turn around? Or is it getting closer to lost cause?
With which one?
Dylan Radins for one.
Yeah, okay.
Caleb Farley.
I was about to say.
Those kind of feel
mentioned
like
a couple of names there.
They're getting kind of crazy to that category.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for hour number 1. We'll come back. We're going to tell you about this PGA and Liv relationship. We'll do that next.
560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Rena Roy. A new crisis in Ukraine. Sections of a major dam exploded, triggering widespread flooding in areas under Russian control. Both Russia and Ukraine are blaming each other. White House National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby says the damage is significant.
We're doing the best we can to assess those reports, and we are working with the Ukrainians to gather more information.
Former Governor Chris Christie is expected to launch his presidential campaign at an event in New Hampshire. Tomorrow, former Vice President Mike Pence officially kicks off his run in Iowa. Protests across France. Demonstrators clashing with police over President Macron's plans to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. It's D-Day, commemorations taking place, marking 79 years since Allies stormed Omaha Beach to liberate Western Europe from German occupation in World War II. U.S. defense leaders at a cemetery overlooking the beach, the location of nearly 9,400 U.S. soldiers. This is ABC News.
You could throw your flip-flop at a bug.
Ew, a bug, get it.
But the chances of actually hitting it
over there
are statistically,
it's still alive.
Unlikely. Good thing nature's got your back. Stem bug killers combine powerful active ingredients found in plants, like lemongrass and geraniol, and scientifically engineer them into effective bug-fighting formulas, safe for use as directed around people, pets, and throughout the home. Stem. Rooted in nature, optimized by science.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple. Incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cut. From the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the Mcfarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Oh, righty there.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour McFarland Show. Rolling along, Darren McFarland, Justin McFarland, here with you every day from 2 until 4 o'clock. Last night, it was all Vegas Golden Knights. So far, no drama.
That's where you going. Okay.
No drama. Games 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
All Vegas. Up 2-0. This series will now shift back to Sunrise, Florida, just like the NBA Finals, shifting back to Miami. So everything is going to move to South Florida, and we'll see. Although the Heat were able to even it up.
The difference is one team's got to split. The other team is got a lot of work to do here.
A lot of people are already dismissing the Panthers and counting them out. I say not so fast, my friend.
Okay,
they're going to win Game 3.
Okay,
so keep that in mind.
Okay, then we'll see what happens with Game 4 there. Then
NBA Finals Game 3 is Wednesday night. And I believe it is Thursday.
The Panthers?
Yeah, I hope they're staggering this stuff. I hope they're not doing it on both nights.
I don't think the NHL is crazy enough to go head up against
Thursday.
the NBA Finals.
It's Thursday.
Okay.
It's Thursday.
I mean, you got a choice. Why would you go head up against the NBA Finals?
I'm just going to go on and give you an early play.
Yeah.
Take the Panthers.
Take the Panthers.
Money line, take the Florida Panthers Game 3. Go on and throw some scratch down on that. Take the Panthers and get yourself some free money.
Okay.
Okay.
You got Florida. You heard it here first.
There's your free tip.
Darren McFarland.
For some free money.
For entertainment purposes only. Take
the Florida Panthers.
Take the Florida Panthers, says Darren.
Yep. Over Vegas. Money line.
It's not quite Michigan in Murfreesboro money with Michigan. But
no, we haven't heard from Michigan.
We haven't had the free money with Michigan in a while.
No.
But, he's cooking up something. Don't disturb him.
Look, you can't force it.
You can't,
listen. You just wait for the call.
When the gift speaks to him, he'll let us know.
When the bat phone rings, you answer it.
Yeah.
Because it's Michigan. He's got his own separate line to call in.
So you just gotta wait until the gift speaks to him, and when the gift speaks to him, he'll speak to the rest of us.
And
so
then
we'll
there's
wait.
silence as
then
we
there's
just
silence.
listen.
We're waiting.
You can put a pen in your hand and you write down whatever he's going to say, or you just have your phone ready and just start,
whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do with that
site.
Listen, we provide the information. What you do with the information is up to you.
That's right. All right, tell everybody what we're going to hear on the PGA and LIV side of things.
So, for those who missed it, early this morning, really it came out beginning of the day. 2 rival companies that we didn't think would ever get together. We have had so much bad blood between the 2 companies. Have finally buried all that, and at some point they had a massive negotiation, and the PGA Tour and LIV Golf have finally gotten together under one umbrella. They made the announcement a little bit earlier this morning. Some people are calling this, according to ESPN.com, a stunning development after they reached a landmark agreement on a global basis here.
Did you say a glam?
I did say a glam. A landmark agreement on I saw the G in global and I jumped ahead. Global basis. Anyway, this is the chairman of the PGA, talking about it. Jay Monahan there talking to Monahan. Jay Monahan talking about.
That's the commissioner.
The commissioner.
Yep.
I said chairman.
Commissioner.
He's the commissioner. The commissioner of the PGA Tour talking about the deal earlier today. This was courtesy of CNBC.
We've recognized that together we can have a far greater impact on this game than we can working apart. And I give Yasser great credit for coming to the table, coming to the discussions with an open heart and an open mind. We did the same, and the game of golf is better for what we've done here today.
Yasser, give me some sense here as to how this came about, how the first call was made, and how you were able to find common ground, again, given what had been a particularly difficult history between the PGA and LIV.
We met in London. We had a lunch, followed by the next day a round of golf, then another lunch. We had discussions. We covered everything. And one of the things that I said then, had we met 2 or 3 years ago, the impact that we will have in the game of golf would be lesser.
Why?
Because it would be something small. But the way we're doing our partnership, it's going to be really big. In many senses. We will have both LIV and the PGA Tour, in addition to all of our assets, and we will be investing in the growth of the game of golf and doing many new things that I think will have a better engagement from the players, the fans, the broadcasters, the sponsors, everyone else, and hopefully to even give a better access for more and more people to the game of golf. The way we would love to make the game of golf very much accessible, just like any other sport, just like football, basketball, any other sport.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what we don't have right now and today.
Right. Well, Jay, from your perspective, first you had a meeting, Jimmy Dunn obviously had this meeting, and it kind of went from there. Give our viewers now a sense as to the structure of this. And you talked a bit about the fact that you're a nonprofit, but you're going to create a for-profit. Correct. You're going to merge, essentially,
correct, yes,
and be a for-profit company, correct?
Yes. So the C6 still stays in place. And out of the C6, we'll continue to operate our tours. We'll put our player retirement plans and assets there. So that stays in place. I think it's very important. One of the things that's important to both of us is every single week when we're playing tournaments, we're making a huge impact in the communities where, we're invited guests. That continues. And at the C6 level, you take the assets of the PGA Tour, the PIF's assets, and LIV, and with the Asian Tour and the DP World Tour, take all those commercial assets, drop them down into that for-profit LLC. This is early. We're going to go through an evaluation of all of the businesses, and the PIF will invest in NewCo. And importantly, as Yasser is quick to point out, there'll be an additional investment in growth initiatives. And that's what's really exciting here.
Yasser, we're talking about potentially billions of dollars being invested from the PIF, correct?
Correct.
Over what period of time?
That's an excellent question. So the first step is today. The second one is the definitive agreement. Then we are creating the board, and the governance of the whole thing is we will evaluate every proposal that will come to us at the board level. So whatever it takes, that's how much is the commitment that we are committed for.
Do you expect to consolidate all these other entities as well? Are you creating one entity for global golf, essentially?
Exactly. That's the idea. And the potential there is really big. I mean, if you look at the size of golf, monetary-wise, it's about $100 billion today. And I think the growth is there. And I think we can, working together, we can have a faster growth rate than the way it was for the past, 10 or 20 years.
David, if I could add, I think when you look at the game on a global basis, there are now more people playing the game outside the U.S. than playing inside the United States. Okay, you look at everything that has transpired in terms of the forms of distribution, Topgolf, and all the other ways that people can interface with our sport. There are now people off-course, more off-course participants than on-course participants, and that combined audience in the U.S. is 48% under the age of 35. Reaching a younger demographic at a time when the sport has never been more popular, and doing so by coming together to collaborate at this point in time, that's where we see the commonality and purpose, and that's where we see this huge opportunity. The litigation is dropped. We're announcing to the world that on behalf of this game, we're coming together. And it's less about how people respond today, and it's all about how people respond in 10 years. And when they see the impact that we're having on this game together, there will be a lot of smiles on people's faces, and there'll be a lot more people playing this game all over the world. And if you're a young player that wants to get to the highest level of the game today, you'll be more inspired than you've ever been before.
All right, everybody. So that was the commissioner of the PGA Tour, Jay Monahan, talking to CNBC. He also had officials there from the LIV tournament there in Saudi Arabia. And they're talking about trying to take golf from a $100 billion sport to something much larger than that, and talking about next generation and a global game is what we're speaking of, which I thought golf was already a global game. We already play the British Open, and then we have an Australian, and, we play golf already all over the world. But I guess we're talking about an even deeper connection, a much more larger reach now for the game of golf.
So how's this going to work? Maybe we need Adam in here. I don't know enough about the tours to know how. So they've come together. So they're not battling in court anymore. So there's not lawsuits. So what does this mean?
Honestly,
I know now that all the players can, the LIV players can be, play in the majors and play in the PGA Tour. But overall, what does it mean? What is in it for? Are they working together?
It certainly sounds that way, but it certainly sounds like some of the LIV events. And to be honest with you, I don't know what the LIV events are or why they're especially important. I've heard some people talking about the fact that they do some more fun things, like they play music, during their tournaments, and they have games like who can hit the ball the furthest, and fun things like that that could be coming towards the PGA side of things versus the traditional. Good evening, friends. Welcome to the PGA tournament. Of course, here comes Dustin Johnson up the ninth fairway, and let's see if he can make this 12-foot putt for birdie. Some of that may be, going away towards the newer generation and a newer style that's a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, but not that.
But if they're merging, who's running the show?
The PGA continues to run the show.
The PGA runs the show?
Yeah. But LIV is now a deeper partner is going to be taking home more of the money. This is a consolidation effort to make sure that all the money can be shared here and there's no more competition here. So, now what does it mean for your tournament that you watch on Sundays or Saturdays? I'm not sure if it means anything for that, honestly. I think it just means you're going to see some of your favorite players again because they're no longer going to be competing in whatever that is over there with Saudi Arabia and LIV, which, again, I'm not a golf enthusiast to the point to where I fully understand what in the world LIV was doing over there in Saudi Arabia and, why it was such a much more exciting brand of golf.
Well, they were paying the players a lot more money. I
saw that. Now,
that I do know.
My thing is this. If I signed that, however much it is with LIV, do I get this money still?
These are the questions I want to know.
Or am I back to my PGA contract?
I'd love to know that.
Was there a merger clause in the contract?
I just didn't think with their money.
With who's
over
money?
There? Well,
Saudi Arabia.
You know what I'm talking about. With their money.
You can say it's Saudi Arabia. It's the place.
They got lots of money.
Okay.
I just don't see them wanting to partner with it. They just kind of feel like, hey, we got more money than we'll ever know what to do with. We don't take orders we always run the show. Like we're not. So how do you, I don't know.
No matter how much money they have, Darren, they can't buy Augusta National.
Okay,
you can't
fair.
buy the Masters. You cannot buy Pebble Beach. You can't buy, the U.S. Open. You just can't. It's institutionalized here in this country and recognized across the globe as the premier golf, events. And you cannot, make that up even if you've got all the money in the world.
What would Augusta go for? What do we think? They put it up for sale. What do we think it would go for?
We're talking NFL franchise kind of money.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking, $4 billion.
Yeah.
If we're doing it.
Yeah, billions.
Yeah, billions. Yeah.
A golf course.
Yeah, we're talking
billions.
We're talking NFL franchise money. Whatever the Broncos went for, around there. I'm serious. That's what we're doing.
I know. I'm laughing with you because I agree with you. That's true.
But again, no matter listen, Saudi Arabia is behind Live, okay? Saudi Arabia makes money from oil, okay? Listen, I am in the news business. I'm not stretching here. They make money from oil. They got a lot of money. So, but you can't buy the U.S. Open and the Masters, no matter how much money you got. It's hard to compete with that.
All right, we'll come back. We'll switch gears. And we'll talk to JT Thomas with the Nashville Super Speedway. We had a great conversation with him a couple of weeks ago when we were out there for the Good Guys event. Hey, their big weekend is just around the corner. We'll tell you what they have up their sleeve. And we will do that next here on the Mcfarland Show, WNSR.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Just because you can't see it or smell it, radon gas is everywhere. Caused by natural radioactive decay, it is the leading cause of lung cancer in women, children, and non-smoking men. And with Davidson County homes testing higher than the national average, now is the time for radon testing. Radon Mitigation is Nashville's licensed and NRPP certified radon mitigation company who can test your home, install systems, and maintain continuous meters for daily readouts on their simple-to-use app. If you're buying or selling a home, save money on costly repairs and expensive inspections. Let Alex and his team at Radon Mitigation make your home a clean air home. Give them a call today at 931-47-RADON. That's 931-477-2366. Or online at ChooseRadont.com. That's ChooseRadont.com.
Hey, I'm Alex with Radon Mitigation, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves on WNSR.
Post-COVID travel is on a surge. Many of you are traveling for fun because you've been locked up for 2 years. Listen, whether you're traveling for fun to Italy, Greece, Spain, France, or somewhere else fun in the world, or USA, now is a great time to book before the crowds hit and save. Plus, with a strong U.S. dollar, you'll get more travel bang for your buck. Right now is a smart time to make your reservations and call low-cost airlines. With one phone call, you can let us do all the work for free. We'll shop hundreds of airlines, hotels, resorts, and give you a way to save huge money on your vacation plans. And if you call right now, we'll give you a free hotel room with a qualified travel purchase. So call right now.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people who want to change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling so it doesn't lead to a bigger problem. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win your life back. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
Pleased to be joined by Coach Philip
The
Fulmer.
Hall of Famer. You know, he's in Nashville quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
I'm in Nashville a lot. I don't know all this basketball talk. Who are these people you're talking to? Coach K and Patino. I'm just great times again on Rocky Top. We put the letters up on top of the stadium. It's fantastic.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton. WNSR. Nashville Sports Radio.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the Mcfarland Show.
Their big weekend is coming up. Darren and Justin here with you, Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Let's go to the phone lines. He's JT Thomas. We talked to him when we were out at the track a couple weeks ago for the Good Guys event, and he is the vice president of corporate sales and someone who used to be a mover and a shaker in the music industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a mover and a shaker.
JT, what was your first concert? I bet you that's a story.
Oh, yeah. We had that conversation. First concert.
He asked me this yesterday, guys. First concert, Bee Gees, 1977.
Nice.
Wow.
Where?
Yeah.
What's the venue?
Greensboro Coliseum.
Okay.
Yeah, Greensboro, North Carolina.
You
should have been there.
That's a good one. I don't know if Parliament Funkadelic is, you know what, never mind. No, the Bee Gees. Okay. That's strong.
You got to go back and see what Bee Gees were doing in 1977. That would be the Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
No.
I yield.
Yeah.
I yield.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
They had lots
Guys,
of hair.
why aren't you out here today? I'm missing you. Where are you at?
Well, we weren't invited. We only show up when we're invited.
It's true.
The invitation is always open to be at the Speedway.
Okay. Well, that's
Come
on. Okay.
Good to know.
Speaking of that, let's get into the music acts, because it's an event, right? It's an entire weekend. It's a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and I think we touched on this a little bit. You can have a wish list all you want, but trying to make everybody's schedule come together and make it all work is another thing. Tell everybody what they can expect that weekend that is just around the corner when it comes to music.
I think it's interesting. When people come to a NASCAR event, or if you've never been, it is more than just an afternoon. It is really 2 or 3, 4 days of fun and activities. And so we've been super excited. We've secured Parker McCollum, which is a award-winning country music superstar coming up through the ranks, and he's going to be here for Sunday afternoon for the Ally 400 pre-race concert. Just has a new album coming out, and he's kind of hot as a firecracker at all these country music festivals, and to have him here in Nashville is great. Saturday night after the Tennessee Lottery Xfinity race, we've got Tim Duggar, curb recording artist, playing a post-race concert here in our Midway. We've even got Old Dominion showing up to be our Grand Marshal on Sunday. So, it's one of those things here at Nashville Super Speedway where it's a little bit of a see and be seen. You just never know who's going to show up. And a lot of these guys and gals in Middle Tennessee who are in the music industry also love racing. They love to be a part of it. So it's fun. There's a lot of things coming a part of to be in our on the weekend for a bunch of guys to come out or families to be a part of. And so it's fun. You don't want to miss it.
Is it kind of like, you see this in the NFL draft rooms when they get the guy they wanted and they all fist bump and they're like excited. So like you get the confirmation, like Old Dominion, you guys are just like fist bumping, like, yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, we got one of those, all of those. Yes, absolutely. You walk down the hallway and you walk in on somebody and go, guess what? Guess what we got? It's one of those kind of things. We had that happen about 2 weeks ago. We had the opportunity for Nate Bargatze, the great comedian.
Oh, you just stole my thunder. There you go. That's where I was going next.
He's going to be driving the honorary pace car driver Sunday evening, going through the green, and it is super exciting to have Nate be a part of the Ally 400 weekend.
I mean, I'm just going to give you the show. I mean, you come in with this Bee Gees. You came in hot with that.
Man. Stole
my next question.
Bee Gees are tough.
I was going to say, if Nate cancels, I'll do it.
It's fun. So hopefully, Nate, I don't know if he's ever driven a pace car. I know he's got to come out that morning and do some driver training, which is kind of always funny to hear. But NASCAR has some hoops for whoever does the honorary pace car driving to jump through and just be familiar. But with NBC being here for Sunday night, that night to kick off their second half of the season with NASCAR, and to have Nate in the car, that's a really good get for us.
It's
thankful
fantastic.
for him to be a part of it.
He is, for people who don't know, he's a Nashville guy.
He is.
Okay, he just played at Bridgestone Arena in front of almost 20,000 people.
Yeah.
He's a comedian,
Packed
folks.
the place. Yeah.
It was 19,000 something.
Yeah.
At Bridgestone Arena.
And doesn't he have the big special on Netflix?
Yeah,
he does.
Couple
Yeah,
months
he
too?
does.
So, yeah,
Sure does.
He's a big time superstar.
Yeah, man.
Coming out of Nashville.
That is. How does that work? Do his people reach out because this market means so much to him, or is that something where you're let's just try?
We were sitting around the table. Around the table, and got a guy knows a guy, and they make a phone call. Nashville, everybody knows something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so it's, hey, I got a guy, and they called those folks, and sure enough, about 2 hours later, they kind of cleared the calendar and said, we've got to be there, right? And so, yeah, it's when it works out, it's fantastic. When it doesn't, it just breaks your heart in 1,000 pieces.
Here you go, JT. This is free. Okay, this is free. Here's a suggestion.
Okay.
How about when Nate's done with his duties as the pace car driver, and then the race gets going, and you guys have the awesome PA out there to keep all the fans in the stands. How about you whisk Nate up top, up there in that room, up top of the roof, in the PA room, and then he gets on there and tells a couple jokes, does a little stand up.
That may cost more money, guys.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now you're starting to get into his.
But play
how
to
he makes a living.
It's
Nate has
Nashville.
agreed.
But play to it. It's Nashville. This is your home, Nate.
He's agreed to
we're
come
just-
drive
we're
a
just-
car.
We're just making memories.
He hasn't agreed to telling jokes. I mean, that's a whole nother fee.
I'm just saying, JT. I think it's a great idea. At least you could ask.
Bring you and your funniness here and drive a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna be busier than he thinks he is. That's the fun side.
Have you
I think
met
we've
him
got
yet?
A lot of things to show him. No, I haven't met him. We look forward to it. I've seen the Netflix special though. Does that mean anything?
He's going to pick up
my
material, JT. That's the thing. Just
I love it.
are you ready to be featured on the next Nate Bargatze special?
I'll be calling in. Absolutely. I'll be the guy calling in on that one. Hopefully. So, but you guys going to come out here for the race weekend?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm coming back
That's the
from
invitation.
Omaha. Okay, just
Omaha.
FYI, I'm coming back from Omaha, and so this has been in the works. Unfortunately, for a long time, it's with our baseball team, so we're going out there for the first time, and the plan is to be back. But if we keep winning, JT,
Well, just remember, if you're
saying.
coming back, the race starts at 6 p.m.
Yes.
It's a Sunday night race. It's a night race. We start near sunset. It'll run through the evening. It's going to be cooler, even though it's hot in June. It's going to be fantastic. So we will finish under the lights here at Nashville Superspeedway. So you got to come. That's what I'm saying.
JT, I was out there live for Fox 17 a couple of years ago, and I met some of the tailgaters who have come from across the country, and they were talking about the opportunity to be back there in Nashville. And I was a little surprised how early they arrived. When do the tailgaters, or the people who sleep in the infield and all that, when do they start getting there? When do those gates open?
The campground's open on Monday, and so people will start rolling in here on Monday. They start claiming their spot and setting up, and so that's when I say it's more than a 2-hour tailgate. It's serious. I mean, people will drive from states near and far to be a part of this, and the benefit that we have as Middle Tennesseers, if that's even the right word, is that people want to come to Nashville. And so I would say we have people from nearly every state that are going to be coming, and they're making Nashville a stop on their summer vacation plans. And to be here for multiple days, I'm sure that there'll be people who want to, for some reason, go down to Broadway and see the sights and maybe take in an Opry and come on out to the race. And so they'll make multiple days here. But yeah, campgrounds open up early on Monday. We start getting people in place, and then on Friday you really start seeing for the truck race, for the Rackley 200 Craftsman Truck Series race. They'll be in that afternoon, and we'll race 7 p.m. on Friday night. So tailgaters kind of come in every shape and size, as you can imagine. Small little cars and big giant RVs, and we welcome them all.
Who has the biggest fan base? Like who's bringing the numbers to come cheer for him there? Like, what colors do you see the most? Like who brings the fans in that the people want to see that guy? Or is there a star this weekend? Or that weekend?
I mean, the star was our last year's winner. Chase Elliott is always. He's been voted for the last 8 years. I think NASCAR's number one favorite driver. I think that's as we have some of these other stars continue to grow. Ross Chastain is the guy who's kind of making some waves in our sport and having a good time of pushing people out of the way and maybe making some enemies along the way. Those kind of guys are showing up, and it's really fun to be a part of seeing their world grow. I think from our side, it's also exciting to see Josh Berry, who is an Xfinity driver, come home to Nashville. He's from Hendersonville. He'll be here at Nashville Superspeedway, and to be able to welcome Josh back here as he's beginning to start making plans to advance the Cup next year is going to be really exciting too.
When it comes to building something like this, building excitement, building an event, building a race, building, a fan base for this, what's the step, JT? Is it the music? Is it the food? Is it the venue? Like, how do you go about creating buzz for something like this where people get up for it and really want it to be one of the premier events that we believe it can be?
Yeah, I think it's, you say building, and it is that. Nashville Superspeedway is, we're third year back with NASCAR Cup Series. To have NASCAR Cup Series here, the leading motorsports format in America here in Nashville that weekend, that's a big deal. And we had racing here in the early days, but it was the trucks and the Xfinity. And so to be able to continue to tell that story is a building story. And when you say, what does it take to do that, it's hundreds and thousands of people telling a story over and over again and inviting their friends. And having friends like you guys to help tell the story for us, to be out here getting in front of folks and saying, you don't want to miss this. This is we will be producing a super large event, but it's also multi-tiered, multi-day. And as I continue to watch trucks roll in here this week and dropping stuff off, and you say building, man, we are building towards the end of the month. It is something new happening on property every day. There's something new as it relates to a storyline and something new socially going out every day. And we are trending towards a sellout. We are moving towards, there is limited availability. We have a limited availability left in our premium areas. We have limited grandstand seats still available. So that's exciting to be, hey, here, Middle Tennessee, motorsports, as you know, has a long history and a long following. And when I say Middle Tennessee, I'd say that's kind of Kentucky down to Birmingham, down to Alabama. And to be able to say there's a lot of history in NASCAR here, but there's also been hundreds and thousands of people who's moved to Middle Tennessee in the last 10 to 12 years who really don't know our story. And so it's up to us to listen well, to invite them, to show our Southern hospitality and the Nashville spirit, and to make sure this is an event that needs to be on their family's calendar year after year, because it's fun, it's exciting, it's something to be a part of.
Okay, you're 17 days out from the Rackley Roofing 200 Friday night race.
You're breaking up. I thought you said 17 days.
17 days.
He did.
So how much do you look at the weather? Like, do you check it every day? Like, you're tracking the weather? Can you even do that 17 days out?
No, not 17 days out. I've been had the fortune of doing this for a long time at other places, and especially in the live event world. It's always in your mind, right? We're always having to do the behind-the-scenes security, emergency plan kind of things. But right now, we're praying for good weather, and I'm gonna say that God's a NASCAR fan, so bring it. So from our side, it's blue skies and 90 degrees, but
that is nerve-wracking, right? I mean, you're an outdoor event,
absolutely.
so you needed to cooperate for 3 days.
That's right, but we're not the only ones who are faced this way too. There's other festivals and events, and anytime you're outdoors, you've got to have a great team behind you that understands what that means. and to be able to do the due diligence of it. But as it relates to summertime in Nashville, you guys know, just wait a few minutes, the weather will change.
That's
and,
true.
So summertime, you just don't know what sometimes. But from our side, we're excited. There is a place of moving the Cup race to Sunday night was very intentional from all parties involved. That was NASCAR, that was NBC, that's Nashville Superspeedway and Speedway Motorsports. We experienced it the last couple of years here as a facility, racing a Sunday afternoon race at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Middle Tennessee is too hot. And so to have the flexibility or have the teaming of our partners to say, hey, let's move this to later in the day, where most of our grandstands will be in the shade by 6 o'clock. And the track will go through some changes as it relates to weather, which is going to be great from a heat side. And then to be able to end the Cup race that evening under the lights, that's perfect. So hopefully if there is any kind of pop-up whatevers, that'll happen in the heat of the day and move on through. And as it relates to a track, being a concrete track, it's pretty easy to make the changes and get back to racing.
All right. 866-RACE-TICKS. You can call that number or go to NashvilleSuperspeedway.com for your tickets. You just heard JT Thomas say that tickets are going. Not much left, 17 days. In the next 17 days, if you want to throw us in a pace car or throw us in a car, and have somebody drive us around, we'll come out and do a show and do that.
Doesn't have to be a pace car.
I've got a pace car here, and we'll put you in it with the lights flashing. How about that?
Wow.
So maybe a week and a half away or something.
Okay.
The lights in for free. I like that.
Let's do it. I like it. JT, thanks for doing this. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.
That is Jonathan. He goes by JT. JT Thomas, Vice President of Corporate Sales out there at the Nashville Superspeedway. Their big weekend, I just told you, 17 days. Rackley Roofing 200 is the truck race Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've got the Tennessee Lottery 250, which is, of course, the Xfinity race at 2:30 on Saturday. And then you just heard him say it many times, a night race, 6 o'clock, underneath the lights, the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup race. We'll come back, and that is on Sunday, June 25th. We'll come back. More of the Mcfarland Show here on this Tuesday. Next.
Okay, fellas, game's on the line. Let's get it right. Frank, you were closest. Was it fair or foul?
I don't know. I was distracted.
Distracted? By what?
Well, it's a loud crowd. These lights are awful bright. I just won big on a Tennessee Lottery instant game. And again, the lighting here, somebody ought to say something.
You've got new instant games?
Yeah.
Enough to share?
Of course.
Fair ball! Have a ball with new instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
With the new hot games from the Tennessee Lottery, cold hard cash is waiting to take your summer fun to the next level. And with sizzling top prizes of up to $500,000, these games could have what you need to make every day fun in the sun.
Oh yeah, this summer is going to be a scorcher. Grab the new hot games today at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer. But careful, they're hot. The Tennessee Lottery, game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Staples has everything your business needs all in one place. Shipping supplies and services so you can fill orders from all over in one stop. Plus professional print and marketing services at your fingertips. And now during Staples Small Business Deal Days, when rewards members spend $100 or more, they get $20 back in rewards plus another $10 back with the Staples Connect app. And you'll find new deals in store every week on tech, chairs, and shipping supplies. Get everything for your business for less at Staples. Rewards offer ends 5/27. Limit 1. Redeemable in-store only.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. That's 800-413-3953.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the TSSAA and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's a Bill King Show.
If Nick coached another 7-8 years, I would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't be. Now, I'm not predicting it because I don't think you can predict that kind of thing. We don't know that. If he coached to 80, I would not be flabbergasted.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
The Mcfarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
Appreciate JT Thomas for joining us, telling us about the big race out at the Nashville Superspeedway. Look, it's events like that, and I know we just keep getting more and more events in this market, but as this market continues to grow and we want to have more and more events, right? This is what we want for a market like this.
Yes, sir.
You got to show up. So I loved hearing that they're getting close to a sellout.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if you're a race fan, go to this event, okay? You have to buy tickets. You have to show up to keep events in a marketplace. We see so many times markets lose things and doesn't guarantee they're going to come back.
No.
Although Atlanta seems to be bulletproof when it comes to hockey.
True.
Because I keep reading articles about them getting a third crack at this thing.
Okay.
And I'm like,
is it article? Are the articles based in anything, or is it just a mere suggestion written by people who probably don't remember the first hockey team that came to Atlanta?
No.
Or is this coming from people who would know?
I mean, the latest one I just read was Bill Daly from the league. So
okay.
basically defending, he's basically
defending.
I was like, it sounds like excuses, Bill, on why it hasn't worked the last two go-arounds.
Why would they want Atlanta so badly?
I get it. It's a big market.
It is.
But
so is Houston. They don't have a team there.
Does it? Yeah, that's right. I know.
What's the what?
I don't know why they keep it feels to me like they're trying to jam a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they keep wanting to do that.
Yeah. Third time's the charm. We're going to keep trying till we get it right.
I guess.
Like the two teams in the NFL in Los Angeles. We're going to keep trying.
Right.
All right. If it wasn't the right situation, cool. We'll find another situation. We got to get these teams in Los Angeles, though. That seemed to be the mood with the NFL.
Just feels like, hey, they're just, is it you keep going back to the X, right? Even though the X keeps telling you we're not interested, but you just can't get over the X. Is that the national? They can't get over Atlanta. Like, how could you dare? Maybe that market just doesn't want the National Hockey League. I don't know.
They can't get over the X. They can't get over the idea of what the X could be. If you read between the lines there, it's not that they can't get over the X because the times that they had with the X aren't all that good.
No.
But it's the idea of what could be with the X is what they can't get over. That's the thing. It's the imaginary thing that they hope will be with that X is the reason they keep going back.
It sounds, again, like a broken relationship. You're making excuses. They do this and they're so good. Yeah, but what about all this other stuff? Yeah, but you understand they're so funny and it's like, yeah, but there's a reason why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You keep going to the good stuff, but what about all the bad stuff? There's a reason why it doesn't work.
Yeah, you keep trying it.
But
So-
you just want to keep trying? Is that you think it's going to change?
There's this other city called Houston, where they haven't tried before. That you never know. It might work down there in Houston. There are other places. Is my only point. There are other places that have not quite had the shot at hockey. That maybe if you want to give a shot. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. You don't have to keep going back to Atlanta. I know Atlanta's nice and all. But, why not Charlotte? I know Charlotte is not Atlanta. I'm not confusing the two. I understand.
Charlotte's a city on the rise like Nashville. It just keeps growing and growing and growing.
It's not Atlanta. I got you. But still, there are other places that do support pro sports out there that do not have hockey teams, that aren't quite as big as Atlanta, that could, you could find a home.
By the way,
never know.
Atlanta's lost races in NASCAR. I mean, it's proven to be a very... I don't know.
It's a fickle sports market. Yeah, it's always been that, though.
Miami, Atlanta, they're just fickle markets.
They've always been that way, though. They're entertainment centers. So because of that, the fans are kind of here and there.
Or the events keep showing up there.
Yeah.
Right, because they're, that's a good point.
They're entertainment centers. So, if we're not careful, Nashville's going to get that reputation, okay? When the dome coming in, the venues, we're not... We can get there very easily. We can, which is something else that we're going to talk about. And you may know more than this than I about the Golden Knights. How's their fan base out there? How does that work? Are they tourists or are the people of Las Vegas going out to those games for the Golden Knights?
Well, I mean, I think you're getting definitely a blend, but I think overall, Vegas is.
Yes, there are people who live in Vegas.
It's a big
I understand.
market. So no, I mean they have obviously. Well, it's a little bit phony and a little bit fake. It's hard to really gauge, right? Because
in Las Vegas,
all they've ever known is winning. This is year 6.
Yeah.
And they've been to 2 Stanley Cup final. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Like last year, it was, we missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
For the first time. Wow.
Okay.
Pity party.
So what you're saying
I'm saying it's hard to gauge. How do you know? They haven't had any there's been no rough times.
Wait till you go 4 or 5 straight years without making the playoffs.
Wait till they have
let's see.
Yeah, wait till they have the 3rd pick in the draft because they were the 3rd worst team in the league. And I get it. Now there's a new lottery system. It doesn't mean it's not just by the standings, but let's just say that wait till they're awful.
Yeah.
If that ever happens.
I just wonder about that.
Then let's see how they react. But right now, it's been great.
Because it's obvious that Las Vegas is going to have all 4 professional sports teams there, professional sports leagues there in the city pretty quickly. And I just wonder, obviously, it's the top tourist attraction in the country, or at least one of them. And them and Orlando always split the tourists as far as who's the top. But I just wonder, how are they going to support day in, day out sports out there? It's got to be the tourists or the local people going out there in Las Vegas.
Well, I think it's pretty clear they have both, and they have enough of both, or they have a lot of both to make this. I mean, they're going to be a 4-sport professional sports town very, very soon.
Yes, quickly.
Like the A's are moving there now. They're getting ready to break ground on their $1 billion stadium.
And the NBA is next.
And the NBA is going to be, which is amazing.
Either
that
they're
the
going to
NBA
expand
is last.
or they're going to.
Can you believe that? Can you imagine the odds we could have gotten on if, all 4 are going to happen. Rank, I think majority easily would have had NBA number 1.
It seemed to be the easiest thing to do.
And they're going to be last.
Yeah. It seemed to be the easiest thing. I mean, they got casinos that can host NBA teams already that are big enough. You can play NBA games right there on the casino floor in some of these places. They've already got. So why they couldn't work that out, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but again, it's the influx of constant tourism.
Yeah.
Which is massive.
Yeah.
And then already a big market to begin with, lots of people live. So you've got a nice blend of tons of people always. It's why Nashville is so good, right? Because you get and Vegas has got more than Nashville as
they do.
in tourists.
I was going to say, when it comes to the Predators, though, I think the tourism is a lot smaller than it is, say, for the Titans, night in, night out. I mean, I don't think
there's a lot more games.
There is a lot more games.
41 home games.
I would just venture to, and I agree, and there are. But I'm just saying the average Predators game has far more locals than tourists.
True, but
even on the weekends,
go to the games and you'll find thousands. You're going to find 2,000 or 3,000 of the opposition in there almost every night.
Yeah,
because there's just that many people either live here.
Yeah.
That like the opposition, or they're here visiting.
They're here visiting. And in part, this is part of their package coming here to see their favorite team.
Yeah. Doug on the text line says, you guys in a pace car, you must rank up there pretty good. I work out at the track, and I've never been offered a pace car ride. Well, Doug, I'm sorry about that, but, man, this is the Mcfarland Show.
We'll introduce you to JT, Doug.
Why are you surprised? Come on, man.
Is there room in the pace car for Doug? Can Doug get in? I don't know. I don't know how big the pace car is.
I don't know how many of us can get in there.
Yeah, that's a good question.
All right, we'll come back and wrap up Tuesday's edition of the Mcfarland Show next.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh, yeah. Love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the Mcfarland Show with Darren Mcfarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Rand Carthen, Tennessee Titans GM, joins the show. Rand, were you among the 70,000 plus that saw Taylor Swift in Nissan Stadium? How was the concert?
I went to the Saturday night show. Easily the best thing I've seen. Now, I went into it, and I was like, I couldn't name a Taylor Swift song, but I was like, I love music enough to know that I know there were songs that I knew that I didn't know was Taylor Swift. So I'm really there because it's just the way my brain and my eyes work. I'm there looking at the stage production. I would guess to say crazy things like transition from one song to the next, the stage. And so that's the stuff that had me enamored. And it was easily, the best show I've seen. And so Beyonce's going to have to bring it in July.
The Mcfarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Music City will be rocking June 23rd through the 25th with a different sound. The sound of NASCAR.
Start your engine!
The Ally 400 is back at Nashville Superspeedway, and this year, it's a night race. NASCAR in Nashville. It's guitars and fast cars under the lights. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to get your tickets for the triple header weekend, including the Ally 400, Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Rackley Roofing 200 today.
It's the Mcfarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
We have heard collaboration more than I think I've heard in my...
It is the word of the year for the Titans right now.
So is that your word, Rand, or was that already here and you've become groomed to the word collaboration?
I would say it's our word.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
another collaborative phrase there. Thank you, man.
The Mcfarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The Mcfarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Well, Nate from Columbia must have been listening to you, big voice guy. He did. He heard me give away my tip of take the Florida Panthers Thursday night in Game 3 money line. Just do it. Do it right now. Make yourself some money. He said he went on Caesars, and they had the Panthers minus 133. I saw it minus 125 at other places. So I'm just maybe scout around, see if you can get your best odds. And take the Panthers money line Game 3. Everybody's putting them off as roadkill. Not so fast. I just wouldn't do that.
It would seem that they would have enough juice to win one game here. Pride takes over at a certain point. You're not going to let Las Vegas just come in here and run you over, right?
Right. Well, they have the first 2 games.
Yeah.
So, except for last night, they did run them over on the scoreboard 7-2. But then there was this, Keith Kachuk guy who ran over.
Now they got to get on
Eichel.
the plane.
Did you see that hit?
Fly. Yeah. I saw, but you got to get on a plane now and fly across country and get adjusted and do the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So, just saying. Yeah. Could be a different score coming up here soon.
Oh, it will be Thursday night.
Okay.
Told you, Panthers are winning.
Darren's feeling us.
I'm just saying it.
All right.
I mean, you do what you got to do.
I understand. We're here to provide information.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do with it.
Well, and it's just my opinion. So,
that's true.
I didn't.
Entertainment purposes only.
This is not Back to the Future. I don't have the book.
No.
Wish I did.
Biff with the book.
Yeah.
No, that'd be nice.
Yeah, you guys probably wouldn't see me again.
Yeah.
I had that book.
Yeah. You can run away and hide. And you should.
I'd text into the show.
Listen, if you got the book, you shouldn't be seen. You're not safe. If you've got the book, you are not safe. You should be somewhere hidden away.
If you won like the big lottery, let's say you won.
Be encrypted.
Let's say you won $600 million.
$600 million.
Would you come forward? Do you have the right to stay private?
I'm trying to remember what the law
do you
is in Tennessee.
have to stay or come forward and it be public knowledge?
I can't remember what the law here is in Tennessee. I think you do have to come forward and step forward and be public here, I think. But be that as it may.
What if you had an option? What would you do?
Oh, you stay anonymous for sure. You don't want anybody
to know. But then how do you handle
what?
Like your daily activities when you tell everybody, yeah, I'm going off the grid for the rest of my life?
Why,
Justin? Why?
Listen, what the financial folks have told me is what you do is you get a trust and you hire a guy. And you just say, oh, you want some money? Talk to my guy who handles my trust.
Yeah, that's good.
And he does all the charity work for me.
Yeah.
Now, I don't give any money out of my pocket. You talk to my guy with the trust.
That
and he does
sense.
all that. You need a kidney? I understand. The guy with the trust.
Do you have a guy?
No.
Okay.
I'm not that large yet. Keep working on it.
All right, that's going to do it for our show today. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy it. We want you back with us tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock. We will see you then.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
If you're just joining us, Perloff is putting the finishing touches on 16 ounces of peanut butter. The man